This is a video on why Islam is going to lose his next fight. And the reason is because of the two potential matchups that are waiting for Islam Makhachev next. So the first point is that Islam is not a dominant fighter that we all think he is. We all thought that this Dustin Poirier fight, a lot of us thought that Islam was going to submit him pretty quick. First round, second round, maybe third round at most. Look what happened. We saw Dustin Poirier have the fight of his life. He had such an amazing fight against Islam Makhachev, and I was really surprised because, you know, Dustin, he gets a little sloppy when he has to grapple for 2 minutes. He gets a little sloppy, and it's like so obvious. And Islam couldn't do too much against Dustin Poirier in those early rounds. He really had to earn that submission win, and he just got it in the 5th round, which is wild. And it was an amazing performance by Dustin Poirier. It was truly something to appreciate as a Dustin Poirier fan, as myself. And with that, we really got to see with these high-level fighters that Islam's fighting, Volkanovski in the first fight when he didn't take him on short notice, and then also Dustin Poirier. He's very vulnerable on the feet. He definitely doesn't have the best defense when it comes to striking on the feet. And if he can't take you down, it opens up so many question marks. So that's the first reason. But the second reason why I think Islam Makhachev is going to lose is if he goes up to 170 and if he fights Leon Edwards. I know Belal, he's fighting Belal next, but I'm not even going to manifest Belal winning because that's just, we're just not even going to talk about that into this universe. So let's pretend that he's going to be facing Leon Edwards, even if it's Belal, but we're talking about Leon Edwards right now. If he fights Leon Edwards, look at how Leon Edwards performed against Kamaru Usman. Sure, in the first fight against Kamaru Usman, he got taken down a bunch, he got gassed, but that was at Salt Lake City at Elevation. We saw Luke Rockhold and Paulo Costa get extremely gassed, and other fighters on that card get extremely gassed because of the elevation. So that, I don't really hold too much value into that, because look at what we saw in the rematch. We saw Leon Edwards stuff Usman's takedowns. We saw Leon Edwards push the pace on striking, open up Usman in striking, and he won. He won both fights. And how is Islam Makhachev going to do if he can't take down Leon Edwards, who has great takedown defense and even is capable of taking down people on his own? This guy took down Kamaru Usman for the first time in his career, one of the best wrestlers in MMA, and he took down Colby Covington just to prove a point to Colby Covington because of all the shit talking that was going on in that fight as well. So how does that fight play out on the feet? He got busted up a little bit against Volkanovski, and especially if he got busted up against Dustin Poirier in this fight. How does he do against a bigger guy, a stronger guy with probably better takedown defense, better striking than Dustin Poirier? Let's be real, it's cleaner striking. I love Dustin Poirier, but Leon Edwards is just a pure kickboxer and an amazing fighter. So how would Islam Makhachev do against Leon Edwards? That's a very interesting fight if it doesn't get taken down. If Leon can get back up to his feet, if he gets taken down. He's probably going to get taken down, but Leon Edwards is a big guy. And we can also say that Islam Makhachev is also a big guy. He's a big lightweight. Joe Rogan even said he's the perfect frame for lightweight. He does have to cut a good amount of weight. We saw he's like killing himself to make 155. So he's going to have more energy at 170, but you also got to take in the fact that Leon Edwards is also an even bigger guy and has to kill himself to make 170. So how does that size advantage play out in that fight? Like, Leon can definitely crack Islam Makhachev. He's a cleaner striker, and it's a very interesting fight in my opinion. And after what I saw, guys, it's hard to back Islam Makhachev in that fight, and I'm really curious of what the odds are going to be like. It's definitely going to be a lot closer than this Poirier fight, but it's a very interesting fight. So I'm curious, comment down below what you want or who you think is going to win that fight if it was Leon Edwards against Islam Makhachev, because Islam wants to go up to 170. He says it's his dream to get the double champ status. He says he's getting bored of 155, but my third reason is why he should stay at 155. Okay, so that's my second point. And then my third point is, my third reason at least, is that fight against Arman Tsarukyan at 155 is very interesting. Arman Tsarukyan, like with what I said, very capable of taking down Islam himself, and he's also capable of defending the takedowns easily for sure. And he's also a great striker. I witnessed him sleep Beneil Dariush at the Austin, Texas fight night in what, like a minute 3 seconds? Slept him. That guy, he was out cold for a while too. And Arman Tsarukyan, he is a very versatile fighter. You saw him throw that crazy axe kick against Charles Oliveira, and he's hungry. He really wants that Islam Makhachev fight. So it's a very interesting fight, that Arman Tsarukyan, Islam Makhachev. That's what I want to see next. Like, that's the fight that should have happened a while ago because of the reasons I said before. But the big thing with Arman is that when these guys fought originally, Arman took that fight on short notice, and he was 22 years old for his UFC debut against Islam Makhachev, and that was up until recently his toughest fight. Arman's hung in there with the grappling exchanges, and Arman's gotten better. Islam's also gotten better. You got to give him credit there, but I probably would pick Arman Tsarukyan in that fight. But Islam is definitely gonna get better from this last Poirier fight, and Khabib was even in his corner. It didn't do like that much. Like, you saw Poirier easily stuff Islam's takedowns when it was in the center of the octagon. When it's against the cage, it's a wrap. Let's be real. But it's gonna be interesting. That fight is interesting because Arman can match Islam wherever the fight goes. He can defend submissions, he can take Islam down, he can defend takedowns, he can outstrike Islam, and he can definitely knock Islam out. He can win by decision against Islam. He can beat Islam Makhachev no matter where the fight is. That's why it's very interesting. To be honest, like, off the top of my mind, at 155, who else is going to threaten Islam Makhachev? Like, there's no one else I want to see Islam Makhachev fight more than Arman Tsarukyan, and it's been like that for a while. Like, I'm trying to think of 155, like Justin Gaethje. I don't want to see that. Max Holloway, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see these strikers. I want to see an elite grappler, not a jiu-jitsu guy like Charles Oliveira. I want to see a wrestler against Islam Makhachev that's going to clash with Islam Makhachev at every position the fight is going to go. Striking, wrestling, grappling, submissions, I don't care. I want to see that. Arman's a dog. He is so hungry. He's also foreign, and these foreign guys from these countries that I didn't know existed are just scary with their foreign fob walkout music. The more foreign the walkout music for these guys, the scarier the fighter they are. And Arman's got some crazy, I don't even know what kind of music he walks out to, but he's a very scary fighter. I know that doesn't hold much value in a fight, but it's just something we all, if you watch MMA and you know, and you love this sport, you know that these guys from the middle of nowhere training on mountaintops are just dangerous fighters that you gotta be worried about if you're Islam Makhachev or just anyone fighting in the UFC in general.